Hello dear friends, I'm late today because I have been participating in a talk show. Opinion piece: Money out of thin air, Financial Matrix, Faces of the Storm, Global UFO Hysteria, War Against Us, US Federal Emergency. Let's start. The modern magic of creating money out of thin air has its roots in the ancient city of Babylon, 600 years before Christ. This trick was taught by the fallen angels. The report of what will happen in 2023 will be the highest news in the history of humankind. 13 centuries of directed disinformation will soon come to an end. When it is said that they are printing money, the reference is actually to the central bank increasing the money supply in the system, for example through quantitative easing, an asset purchase program. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, banks create credit, but it is a mistake to believe that the credit of banks is generated in part by the deposits of money held by banks. A loan made by a bank is a distinct addition to the quantity of money in the community. All this is possible because banks have the power to convert liabilities into assets. The trick is this: when we deposit 100 euros in a bank, that money is actually a loan we make to the bank. It doesn't belong to the bank and is therefore a liability. However, the bank will lend that 100 euros to another customer who will have to pay it back with interest. In this way, the 100 euros have become an asset. Physical money is also created out of thin air, as if by magic. It is manufactured by central banks in their printing presses, converting ordinary paper into banknotes. They put it into circulation by injecting liquidity into the markets, lending it to other banks and charging them interest. And contrary to popular belief, it is not always governments that mint coins and produce banknotes, but private central banks. Alan Greenspan said that the abandonment of the gold standard has allowed those in charge of the welfare state to use the banking system to expand credit limitlessly. They have created paper reserves in the form of national bonds, which, through a series of complex steps, the banks accept in place of tangible assets and treat as if they were a real deposit. It is to say, the equivalent of what a gold deposit once was. The holder of a national bond or bank deposit created by paper reserves believes he has a claim on a real asset, but the fact is that there are now more rights than real assets. Debt. The obstruction of a huge amount of debt makes it impossible for the world economy to recover. Worse than uncontrollable debt is growing debt. The debt of Western countries amounts to hundreds of trillions at artificially low interest rates due to the zero interest rate policy. If interest rates rise, as they are doing now, this debt will grow at a faster rate, increasing the total debt by hundreds of billions of euros and dollars in a short period of time. Undoubtedly, this means default, bankruptcy, final collapse, and the biggest bear market in history before the system change. Debt destroys wealth. Silver and gold are not symbols of wealth. They are wealth. All the gold that has ever been mined in the history of the world is still with us, some of it disguised as jewelry. Unlike gold, silver is consumed in industry. The treasury held billions of ounces of silver. That silver has been used by industry and hoarded by investors. According to Robert Kiyosaki, faith in fake money will be destroyed. The famous investor and writer believes a giant crash and economic crisis is coming. According to Goldilocks, the shift to an asset and based trading system has an end date and a back wall for businesses to transition to the new digital gold standard. This back wall date will be the great transfer of wealth to a new monetary system unlike any we have seen before. It will change every sector of the market, including Forex itself. Time doesn't stand still. Phases of the storm. The second phase of the storm has 7 steps. We are now in the second phase. First, sovereign exchange. Second, crash of the stock exchange and collapse of the currency to be replaced by the rainbow note. Third, revaluation of world currencies. 4. Unlocking and unsealing of sealed indictments. 5. Public commencement of mass arrests. 6. First batch to the holiday bay at sea. 7. Galactic ships become visible. The third phase of the storm has the 7 ultimate upheavals. First, abolition of the 3-letter agencies. Second, implementation of the USERA program. Third, introduction of advanced technology. Fourth, new human president. 5. Restored republic. 6. Mass landing of the Galactic Federation. 7. It is done. UFO history. The dark side pushes a fake alien invasion. The object shot down over Alaskan airspace Friday was a USAF aerial drone, not a balloon or ET spacecraft. Sources in General Eric Smith's office told Real Raw News. UFO hysteria is a design distraction. Anxiety over the appearance of 3 downed balloons over North America was generated to distract the attention of journalists and the public from the investigation into acts of sabotage of the Nord Stream pipeline system, writes Edward Snowden. Science fiction. According to Cadis the C3, all science fiction books, films and TV shows are documentaries. They have to tell us or show us what they are hiding, and they think we are so stupid that even if they tell us exactly what technology they have and are repressing and what their plans are, we don't see it. Well, we already see them. Tesla magnetic trains connecting all continents, holographic supercomputers, reptiles serving real galactic humankind and more. The world we will soon enter is full of wonders for us, but in reality this technology has existed for eons. Federal emergency for 30 million Americans in 6 states. The train derailment has poisoned water in the Ohio River basin and is flowing into the Mississippi River. Collision causes deadly train derailment in Texas just 10 days after toxic train explosion in Ohio. US rejects Ukraine's request to supply it with long-range attacks missiles. The Pentagon has hinted that it doesn't have enough of these weapons in its stockpile. Reflections. War Against Us by James Howard Kanstler. We live in a world where lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morality, and banks destroy our economy. We are facing chaotic times when people will go mad, according to Josh Eden. We are heading towards a world where things are nothing like we imagined. A world where all goods and food are hard to come by, lifestyles are cramped, energy is lower, and comforts are scarce. Staying mentally healthy and balanced is very important in this time like this. Puffness said, Many of you are really fed up. All I can say is get over it. You still have a long way to go. You have been told many times that it is important for everyone involved to focus on what they are waiting for. That is an integral key to all of this coming to a different outcome. Make it a point to pinpoint the energies that are being used against the public and focus on the desired outcome. The path to liberate humankind is the same as the path to liberate the individual. The path to enlightenment is the process of becoming clearly aware of all the different aspects of the way you operate internally, allowing you to relate to life as it actually appears rather than through the filters of all conditioned habits of mind. The path to liberation for a species is the process of collectively becoming aware of the reality of our situation, as opposed to the false narratives about it, so that we can begin to solve our problems as they really are, rather than the way the media portrays them. At the beginning, by liberty, the lady. Someday, people will start over from the ashes of the previous civilization. What stories will be told about the other civilization of which they are remnants? Will they have learnt the lessons of past mistakes? Or will power and greed define their lives as well? Books have been written and films have been made about a post-apocalyptic world in the future, which means we made bad decisions or allowed those drunk with power and greed to destroy our world. Poet Talk Reflection. There is a reason why many yogis see the feminine aspect as the Divine Mother. She becomes every woman who comes into view as a representation of her in the mind of the aspirant. I have always been deeply romantic because love is the running blood of the poet. That intoxication can take one to many strange places. I prefer now the company of the Divine Mother, also since she is the gateway to both life and death. Coming to terms with her is one of the keys to immortality. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.